Welcome to Company Showcase, an advertising feature on HowStreet.com.
I'm Jim Goddard. I'm speaking with Cypress Development Corporate Consultant Don Mosher. Welcome back to the show, Don.
Pleasure to talk to you again, Jim.
Don, what's the latest with Cypress? Some people are wondering what's happening there.
We're moving ahead with a pre-feasibility study on our Clayton Valley Claystone project. And the big issue that we've always faced in regards to this project is the fact that nobody has ever been able to put a claystone lithium project into commercial operation, where they're actually complete the mine and are producing lithium hydroxide. So we've been working on this project for about 3 years. With my experience in the mining world, it's moved along very quickly. We've basically gone from a grassroots situation where we were originally looking for brines in Clayton Valley, similar to Albemarle's production facility there that's been operating evaporation ponds for over 50 years, to taking a look at the clays at surface and realizing that they have a lithium content. Moving forward with that, finding out that these claystones are actually leachable in comparison to Western Lithium to the north of us on an old Chevron project having claystones with higher lithium content, but it was refractory. So the issue they had, and they spent like $40 million working through metallurgical issues up there, was it was refractory. You had to mine it, you had to put it into an oven, cook it into a brick, break the bricks up, and then you could leach the lithium out. Our clays are easily leached. So then we move forward from there with drilling, realized that we had a massive resource flat lying, very little overburden on it, and with some drilling decided to focus on one specific area of it. So we drilled out about 300 million tons, which would be about a 40-year mine life. We put out a preliminary economic assessment on it. It had a net present value of $1.4 billion U.S. based on what the contained lithium was in the claystones, and now we've moved forward into a pre-feasibility situation. So we moved into a pre-feasibility situation on this. We've been working on the pre-feasibility since early spring. We had anticipated getting it out sometime in the fall, but now we're into November. And what we've decided to do was call it a mini pilot plant situation, where we've gone into an engineering firm called NORAM here in Vancouver, and we're going to complete the final process on the flow chart. We're very happy with digging up the clay, putting the clay into a leach situation, pulling out the solids, ending up with a solution. And really now what we're focused on is taking that solution and producing a commercial grade of lithium hydroxide, and potentially some rare earths to go along with this. So what we're doing is building credibility for the entire process that you would see once the mine is built. Digging it up, working through the leaching situation on it, removing the solids, which is very difficult. I mean, that was one of the biggest barriers for our CEO, Bill Willoughby, was, you know how sticky clay is. I don't know anybody that's got experience in, I grew up in Saskatchewan, and I mean, that clay there sticks to everything. So even when you do get the clay into solution and you're pulling the lithium out of it, how do you get the solids out of the solution and get it to a point where you can put it through a membrane technology and go through that extraction process? We ended up taking a look at some commercial applications that they used in the potassium industry, some screening, and we've managed to remove most of the solids out of solution. So now we're on the very back end of that flow chart, and we want to put it into a mini pilot plant. Normally you would just see the pilot plant come in when you're doing the feasibility. We'll have a pre-feasibility that encompasses everything from start to finish, producing lithium hydroxide. And anybody will be able to repeat this process, and it should build huge credibility for what we're doing.
Where is all this action taking place?
It's taken place in the U.S., in Clayton Valley in Nevada. And you couldn't have a better jurisdiction for an operation like this. Right now, there's huge disruptions in the Atacama Desert, with both Bolivia and Chile dealing with a lot of civil disruption. On Monday, there was thousands and thousands of people demonstrating in every major city in Chile, and this is also occurring up in the Atacama Desert, because the lithium production up there was originally for potash, and they had a byproduct of lithium, and they have now become the largest producers of lithium in the world. And it's a very cheap form of producing lithium, because you're just pulling brines out of the ground and putting them into evaporation ponds and allowing the wind to concentrate everything down. But there's always a cost, and in this situation, the cost is you're drawing down all the aquifers. So now the locals are getting very upset about the threat to the aquifers up there, and as a result of that, I think you're going to see a threat to global lithium supplies.
Where are you traded, and how can people get more information about Cypress Development?
We were traded on the Venture Exchange on the TSX. Our trading symbol is CYP, and they can get all the information they need at cypressdevelopmentcorp.com.
Don, thank you so much for the update.
Thank you very much, Jim.
We've been speaking with Don Mosher. He's the corporate consultant for Cypress Development. I'm Jim Goddard. Our conversation took place on November 19th.
Comments made on Company Showcase are an expression of opinion only and should not be construed in any manner whatsoever as recommendations to buy or sell any financial instrument at any time. Archived online at HowStreet.com. Company Showcase is a production of How Street Media Incorporated.